Hello, and thanks for joining us again on another episode of the Absolutely Bookkeeping podcast. I'm joined today by Sarah. So, Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your bookkeeping business, and what kind of clients you deal with?
Okay, so I'm based down in Cornwall. My bookkeeping business is actually called Nero Accountancy because it never occurred to me to call a business with bookkeeping in the title when I set it up. I have been trading for about 15 years now, originally part-time, but now full-time. And my range of clients is quite wide. So I've got a lot of sole traders, a lot of tradesmen. I quite like them. I quite like moulding them into what I want them to be doing paperwork-wise, up to a few large limiteds. But if I'm truly honest, I prefer the little guys because they're all so different, and basically you never know what you're going to get from them. So it's always a bit of a gamble, but they are brilliant. Yeah.
So how did your journey become to, as in the bookkeeping? How did you start?
Okay, so this is kind of interesting and probably not what you're expecting. I had my second son in 2003, or my second child, and I wanted to go back to work, but not into full-time employment. So I looked what was around, and I bought a franchise for teaching baby signing into Cornwall. And my uncle, who is a bookkeeper, he said, well, you're going to have to keep your books. You're going to have to do it. So he set me up on Sage, and I did a really, really bad job of bookkeeping because he basically left me to it. And I thought, oh, I like this. I actually really like this. So I went and did a Sage course at the local college, and I thought, no, I actually really do like this. And then I went on and did my AAT afterwards, studying in the evening, and I got my first accounts role from that. And it's basically gone from there. Wow. I don't think I'd have ever gone into bookkeeping otherwise. It's just a fluke.
No. Yeah. So what is the one word you would describe your relationship with technology in your business?
When it works, I love it. I absolutely love it. I want as much tech as possible, but it has to work well.
Yeah. So let's go on to your favourites. So what is the Apple software you simply could not run your business without?
Okay, so I could not run my business without an app called Dokka. Lots of people haven't heard of it. I hadn't heard of it. I used to use another well-known document extraction app, and when they put their price up 5 years ago, it no longer became a feasible option for me with the level I was running my business at the time. So my brother took it upon himself to have a good old Google and see what he could find, and he came across Dokka, and I truly had never heard of it before. So I went and had a look. I did a little trial and booked a call. But to be honest, by the time they called me, I had already worked out how to use it. Had a lovely chat. The support team is brilliant. This was during COVID, so I was quite pleased to be talking to somebody different than my own household. And it went from there. And I use it in a multitude of ways, not all the way they probably traditionally expect you to use it. But yeah, 100%. I have never, ever considered getting rid of it. And it is used every single day.
Fabulous. Was it a game changer from day one, or was it kind of slow burning that you had to work on it to get it how you wanted to be?
It was pretty much a game changer from day one. So during COVID, we shielded because my husband is immunocompromised. So because we live in a small property, we couldn't isolate him. So it was him, myself, and my teen son. So I wasn't meeting clients like I had been. So suddenly a lot of clients needed to get paperwork to me without actually coming to my house, because my clients are quite spread over Cornwall and they're not like 10 minutes down the road. So yeah, we utilized it from day one in a variety of ways. And it was just easy to get up and get going. I didn't need to have a training session. I did have one, but I was like, actually, I know this. Yeah. And they were like, well, we can't really tell you anything today. You've been using it.
So that kind of goes on to my next question. So this is, what problems did it solve? So you've actually identified there was a problem getting the paperwork to you in lockdown, and this kind of really elevated your practice because you were still able to serve your clients by solving that problem.
Absolutely. It really did. They do have an app. So that was my first experience of getting clients to take photos of their paperwork and send it to me. That was really new. I hadn't done that before. We do get some interesting photos come through, receipts missing and part of their leg or their car dashboard or something completely unrelated to what they're trying to send me anyway. But that always brings a smile. But because of the app, I could get people that wouldn't really want to be using technology but actually have a phone to get that paperwork to me with ease in a timely manner, which was needed at that point. We needed to keep everything going.
So can you talk us through how you use it in your day-to-day workflow? So how critical, where does it sort of fit in your workflow?
Okay, so we've got a lot of clients that use it in the normal way of they upload their paperwork and I feed it into whatever softwares I'm using, so whether that's QuickBooks or Xero. And then we have some that literally just send it there for me to see it. I don't feed it into software, but it's there. I can process it into other softwares that I use VT a lot, which obviously doesn't have the facility for feeding in, but for small clients, it's ideal. So every day we have a set amount of clients that I go through every morning to see if there's any new paperwork. So I can get a continual feed of that going through daily rather than once a month getting faced with loads, work through all the clients that use it first thing, and then we know it's done. And it really is critical because you know how quickly paperwork can build up if you don't check on it daily in your bigger clients. So by doing this in the morning, we know we've cleared it for another day. We can literally send any queries off and then we're good to go again for the next morning. It's literally one of the first things I open when I get going in the day.
That's fantastic. And have you set up any clever automations, or is there a tips that you give for setting it up to make your life easier?
So it is rather a basic app, I'm not going to lie, and they don't have the automations. However, it does have two features which I find absolutely invaluable. It has an option to put like a sticky note, it's called. So when someone is uploading something and they want to leave you a little note, they can say, oh, this looks unusual, but I bought it for X, Y, and Z. So I find that brilliant because I don't know if any others do that. I haven't found them yet. And I've got some clients who are splitting things between different classes. So that's really important. I actually love that feature, but I do love sticky notes. So it's kind of like an online version. And also they have an option to be able to send a message to a client regarding a specific invoice you're looking at. You literally click send message and you can message the client direct about that piece of paper and they can message you back regarding that. So although it is one of the basic ones and I can't set up all these fancy automations, the little things like that make such a difference that it is worth still using. I don't need an automation in everything.
No, that's great. So would you say it's helped you scale, save time, or even keep your sanity, which is important?
All of it. All of it. I had two specific clients, one who isn't actually with me anymore due to business changing. One of them, I used to go every week. I used to drive 40 minutes every week to pick up a bundle of paperwork and drive back. So they were using software that it didn't feed into, but they started using the app. So suddenly I'm saving nearly 2 hours a week in that time, which actually is what is really valuable. It's the wasted time in the car where you're literally doing nothing. That certainly did save my sanity. And another client at the time was a very similar situation. I would go and pick the paperwork up. They then were happy to move to QuickBooks, so they now feed into that. But at the time, they were just getting me all their paperwork by scanning it or forwarding it via email or using the app, which was saving me so much time. So yeah, definitely saved my sanity, because you do not want to be driving in that direction in the summer in Cornwall, because it was the other side of Newquay. No.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay.
Too many cars.
No, exactly. If you had a magic wand and can change just one thing about it, what would you improve, or would you need to improve anything?
So I'm going to be honest, the only one thing I would improve is when I'm telling it is a credit, not an invoice, it wipes out the supplier name. That's all I can come up with. If I have to come up with something, I really wish it kept the supplier name, but it doesn't. But that's not much in the whole scheme of things.
No. Would you recommend it for other bookkeepers to use? Would it be something that you really would recommend?
Absolutely. I use it every single day throughout the day. I would have no hesitation. Their support team is invaluable. They're not based in the UK, I'm not going to lie, but they are on it. They are absolutely on it, and they will call you. They will set up like a Teams just to go through something. I very rarely have to contact them, but I would have no problem doing that, and I would have no problem recommending them.
Fabulous. And have you paired it with any other tools or apps to kind of supercharge it, so to speak? So you mentioned that you use it with QuickBooks and Xero. Is there any other apps that you use it with?
No, I don't think there is. I think they do feed into others, but they're the main ones that I use. So as I said, it's literally a basic one, but not everybody needs all the bells and whistles that come with the heavier price tags of some of the others. So for me, it's easy. I have so many clients that get their paperwork to me that way. Lots of the ones I'm using for VT that I can't feed in anyway, but it's just an easy way to get that paperwork to me. And I can afford it. I can justify it. For my business, it works.
Fabulous. Now we're going to switch away from Dokka now. And apart from that one, what are your other 3 top apps that you go to that are in your app stack?
Okay, Client Engager. I was a very early adopter of that. I think I was number 14. Absolutely love it. It literally mind-blowing. Fixer AI, literally. Absolutely love that for emails, as you well know. It literally has transformed my inbox. I really thank Lara for mentioning that in her talk at Accountex, because I wouldn't have looked at it otherwise. What other ones do I use? My brain's gone blank now. Other apps. I use loads. Why can't I think of them? I'm having a complete mind moment. I'm sure there are more, but to be honest, Client Engager and Fixer AI take top first place. I don't need any others. I highly recommend those. I would love to talk to Fixer AI forever.
Yep. How often do you review your app stack?
Not as often as I should have, although you have obviously raised that within our Maverick Revolution group. So I am kind of doing that at the moment. I've just remembered a third one, Briefcase. That's my other one. Yeah, Briefcase with its AI. Yeah, Ruben, absolutely brilliant. It's not something I do enough, but you've brought that to the forefront of my mind with your recent little task that you set us to do. And I'm kind of in the process of doing it now, but I actually think that all the apps I'm using are still worth their value in money, and I am still using them. So I don't think I've got any to get rid of at the moment, but definitely worth reviewing every 3 months or so.
So if you could give one piece of advice to bookkeepers out there who go out there and feel overwhelmed by all the choices of apps and software out there, what advice would you give them? Because there is lots of choices out there, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. My choices would be, if you're on any groups, see what other people are using on Facebook. Search for the software you're considering or the app you're considering and see what comments you're getting on there. That's really useful. See if they've got a trial. Try it. If you like it and you want to give it a go, and you give it a go and you actually think, no, this isn't for me, get rid of it. You don't need to keep it. You don't owe them anything. You owe your business to be running with the right software and apps that you need for you. We've all been there. Something will work for months and then suddenly it's not working. And that's okay. Just go for it.
Perfect. I love that advice. Right. Final section of the episode now. This is the quick fire round. So I'm going to throw some questions for you. So iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Xero, QuickBooks or Sage?
QuickBooks.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
One piece of tech or business of wisdom you wish you'd learned at the beginning rather than now in your business?
Make sure you've got a good group of people around you. If you're a sole practitioner, make sure you've got a good support network. They don't have to be in your office with you, but find your tribe online and make the most of it. Absolutely.
I agree with that one. And finally, what is the app that you think is underrated and deserves a little bit more love?
Dokka, because not many people have heard of it. I really think people should have a look into that one. I really do.
No, that's brilliant. And that's it. So thank you very much, Sarah, for today. That was really insightful. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's been lovely to speak to you.
Thank you.